What is up, everybody? It's Dorian D. Booma San, another painfully beautiful production. Um, I love being able to bring content to people that sparks discussion, and a lot of times it sparked heated discussion. So I shared previously the interview I did with Space Force Chuck, and some people's panties got in a bunch. And then I shared something that was shared with me, which was Truth or Not. Now, I added that to the title because I wasn't certain. And we obviously saw the one eye symbolism and some things that other people pointed out that I also saw when I did this. But Stanley Kubrick, likely being in the club, maybe he did some things that they didn't appreciate. There's talk about Eyes Wide Shut and 20 minutes missing from that film that exposed more of what they actually do. But anyways, Truth or Not, filmmaker Stanley Kubrick's confession about the faked manned lunar landing of 1969. So I posted that. It was just a short little blip. Didn't seem like it was the whole thing. I wondered if like the rest of it was out there, kind of a thing. Well, somebody just shared with me something that I'm going to play a small clip from that comes from this video right here, done by Y-Files, and it's called The Moon Landing, Stanley Kubrick's Greatest Film, How NASA and Hollywood Fooled the World. So I'm just going to watch a small excerpt from that and link to this full video down below. We'll check that out, and then I'll catch you on the other side of that.
The latter part of Kubrick's Odyssey discusses the hidden messages in The Shining that Kubrick directed in 1980. Kubrick leaves clues that he faked the moon landings. The characters Jack and Danny, who are the father and son in the movie, symbolize different aspects of Kubrick's own personality. Danny, the child, represents Kubrick's inner innocence, while Jack represents the jaded and morally compromised adult that Kubrick has become. There are also specific visual clues. The Indian wall hangings on the walls of the Overlook Hotel look like rockets launching into space. The pattern on the carpet of the hotel is a hexagonal shape that represents the shape of the launch pads at Cape Canaveral. And in one scene, when Danny is playing with his toys on this carpet, he stands up and is seen wearing a sweater that says Apollo 11 on it. Next, there's a scene where Danny then walks down the hall and finds an open door to a room. The room is number 237, which was changed from room 217 in the Stephen King novel. The number 237 is significant because the average orbital distance between the Earth and the Moon is 237,000 miles. Then there's the scene where Jack's wife discovers that he's been typing the same phrase over and over. The phrase is, "All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy." But the word all isn't ALL. It's actually typed out as A11 or Apollo 11. And there are a lot of other claims made by Kubrick's Odyssey, but those are the highlights. And these claims were highly debated and very controversial. What we need is Kubrick admitting he faked the moon landing. We need to hear it from his own mouth, but he never said a word about it. Or did he?
We've been brought in here by Stanley Kubrick to more or less ensure the scientific integrity of the film, to make sure that it's very, very close in reality, but still we want to make certain that it has a base of reality.
We're in the final assembly building of the LEM. Stanley Kubrick and I have set ourselves several objectives. We hope to convey to the public the wonder and beauty and promise of the new age of exploration which is opening up before the human race.
Take one.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Good evening. I'm sorry not to be able to be with you tonight.
In 2016, an interview with Stanley Kubrick was found. And according to the video, Kubrick had to sign an 88-page non-disclosure agreement that the interview would stay hidden for 15 years.
Is everything looking in order regarding our contract and the 15-year agreement, and I signed the non-disclosure? That's all for the legal stuff, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Looks good to me.
All right.
A documentary filmmaker interviews Stanley Kubrick about his career as a director. And right from the start, Kubrick interrupts and explains that when he initially considered the project, he saw it as just another film. When asked which of his movies he's referring to, he reveals that he's talking about the moon landing and claims that it was all fake.
The challenge of making this film, and I went into it like it was a regular film, like another production of mine. Not thinking too much about the long-term effects, what it would mean to society if it was ever discovered.
Mm-hmm. What are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about. You're referring to something.
The fake moon landing.
He says that he was approached by NASA and that they appealed to his sense of duty and patriotism. But Kubrick admitted that the project was about America's public image and upstaging Russia.
To fulfill this dream that America has had as a country since the Kennedy years.
Okay, so you're saying the motivation was PR?
PR, absolutely. Plain and simple, PR.
Then he goes on to confirm that the conspiracy is actually the truth.
Faking the exploration of space, because there was just no way we could get there.
NASA then set up a meeting with Kubrick and President Richard Nixon. Kubrick met with Nixon in the Oval Office and details what Nixon asked him to do: film a fake moon landing.
I am convinced, and the gentlemen at NASA are also convinced, that you can help us make people believe that we have been to the moon.
This interview was a bombshell. This was the evidence the world had been waiting for. This was evidence that every allegation made in the documentary Kubrick's Odyssey was true.
Yep.
Millions of people saw this interview and finally felt justified in their suspicion that the moon landing never happened.
Yep.
One small problem.
No.
That wasn't Stanley Kubrick.
No.
The Stanley Kubrick moon landing confession set the conspiracy side of the internet on fire, but it was a hoax. This is either a filmmaker and an actor, or more likely, two guys goofing around. In the full-length version of the interview, an agitated producer constantly badgers the actor whose real name is Tom.
A launch pad accident in '67, which killed...
Tom, you're going to tell me a story. So Nixon sat me down in the Oval Office, and he says to me, you know, that boy just out of the thing. This is how I want you. Then we're going to kneel. We're going to kneel. Yeah.
The plan. He didn't. Yeah.
So he says to me, you don't say he said anything. You say what he says, okay? That's all, Tom. I'm just giving you a direction.
Wait, you want me?
Everything about the. I walked in.
You want
and he
me to
said
say it as him, or do you want?
You don't have to imitate him, but you have to say. He says, Stanley, we've worked on this moon program. You're not.
Come on, get with it, Tom.
Do your shtick. Do a shtick. Get in the fact that you're writing this, Tom, and not everything's got to be drab. It can be funny in a very subtle way. So you meet with Nixon, and what happened? Grab a drink. And action.
What they believed was, if we could...
Nixon sat down. Color, tell me a story, Tom.
So Stanley Kubrick had nothing to do with that interview. Not just that, he had nothing to do with the moon landing.
All right, wild, right? Seems that interview has been debunked. But right before somebody shared that with me, Chris of the 6-7 podcast, he reached out to me, and I guess during our stream with Sabrina Wallace and Chris, when we just did, that was amazing. I had an amazing time, and a lot of people really enjoyed that jam session. But he reached out, so someone that was in the, I guess, live chat posted about it, but I didn't know nothing about this, so I was like really skeptical. I think I mentioned it or whatnot. But Chris was watching back our video, and he caught that. And he said that he noticed it, and he wanted to share that PDF that was mentioned by that person in the chat. And it's called Dave McGowan, Wagging the Moondog. And he says it's a must-read, bro. Literally the best debunk of the NASA moon landing. The greatest debunk ever, and super funny. So I'm going to link to that down below this video as well, that PDF. Wagging the Moon Doggy by Dave McGowan. And so you'll have another resource to check out when it comes to this stuff. And I love these discussions, but welcome to the Mind of Booma San, where people share a lot of stuff with me all the time. Some stuff catches my eye. Some stuff seems to be like perfect for the timing of like what I'm doing on my channel or what I'm thinking in my own mind, the things I'm wrestling with, the idea of aliens, space aliens, no space aliens, firmament, moon landing, no moon landing. You know, there's arguments all over the place for all kinds of various stuff. And so anyways, I'm going to link to that down below this video, that PDF. And so once again, the discussion continues. And this is what I enjoy, even though it can be frustrating and a lot of people get really triggered. Like if you don't believe something, or you do believe something and you have such a passion, but you say it in a way where you're dogging everybody else, yet you're not providing any proof or links or where to find the information that would debunk this, like I have, just been shared with me. That's what upsets me. So if I come at some people a little bit hard in the comments, it's because you're just talking shit for the sake of talking shit. If you have information that is something worth sharing with the community, it is something that I will consider sharing on Mind the Booma San. That's how this works, man. It's a community effort, and the search for truth continues. I love you all. God bless. Use resources, please, and be kind, considerate as much as possible. And I appreciate you all. God bless and peace.